We avoid confrontation, we avoid having important discussions because of the repercussions that we're afraid of. Many times people who grew up in families where their voice wasn't honored. Maybe you were in a family where people were really angry, so you're afraid of anger and evoking an angry response. And maybe you grew up in a family where everything was silent. Nobody was allowed to speak up, and so your voice wasn't honored. And in cases like that, we have trouble speaking up and we have trouble setting boundaries. And this is why I do the work I do today. I want to share my own experience with speaking up. One of my very first recollections of speaking up as I was finding my voice as I was divorcing. There were a lot of things that started to come to me, all the ways that I hadn't been true to myself. And I said, it's time to be courageous and take a stand for what's important. I had a boyfriend in high school that I had a crush on from age 13 until 16 when we finally started dating. He was my first everything. I was madly in love with this guy, and we were on and off for about 7 years. And I never knew how he felt about me. My imagination ran rampant with all kinds of thoughts about him and his relationships with other women, and that he never was exclusive with me. But I never asked because I was afraid of the answer. And so I spent 7 years dating him on and off, plus those 3 years of total crush, without knowing anything about what was going on for him. I didn't know if he loved me. I didn't know if he was exclusive with me. When I was about 21, I had had enough. I felt devalued, and I said, done, and I moved on to other men. As I was divorcing, I wrote him a letter, and I said, I am in the middle of a divorce, and I'm really trying to find my voice, and I have some questions for you. Did you love me? Was I your first? And he wrote back the most beautiful response that yes, he totally loved me, and I was definitely his first, and he just didn't have the ability to speak up and let me know how he felt at the time, and he regrets that. And it gave me such closure, and it was important for me to close that loop and to have that conversation. It took courage, but I did it, and I was proud of myself. So if there's a conversation you're avoiding, whether it's in a relationship that you're having right now or a dating situation where you're not sure where you stand or what the person's intentions are, or maybe it's at work, whether you want a raise or a promotion and you're afraid to assert yourself, it's really important that we know how to speak up, not just to do it, because that takes courage, but how to speak up, how to use the right words. And that's where I come in. So I have a speak up session that you get me for an hour. We unpack what is really going on for you. What are the fears? What are the blocks? And then I help you script a conversation that you're avoiding right now. You will be able to have that conversation. You'll be able to be in your power and be the woman of value that you want to be, and be respected by the people in your life who are currently maybe not respecting you enough.